Hello friends, welcome to Mahipal Reddy's GK House. Myself Prithudha Reddy. Today we are going to discuss wide-ranging topics from DBT NII receives trademark for India's first indigenous tumor antigen, that is SPA-G9. Okay, SDG India Index 2021, Satellite Internet, Global Pandemic Radar, Agriculture Ministry signs MOUs with 4 institutions. Justice Arun Mishra appointed as Chairman of National Human Rights Commission. In that context, we are also going to discuss the complete details on the National Human Rights Commission. Isaac Herzog elected as 11th President of Israel. And lastly, we are going to discuss the Salman Rushdie's book. What is a new book we are going to discuss? Coming to the first important current affair, DBT NII receives a trademark for India's first indigenous tumor antigen. So basically, we are going to advance our understanding on the treatment of cancer by the technique called immunotherapy. So using the immune system, we are going to enhance our capability to fight against cancer. Okay, so it is what India's first indigenous tumor antigen, that is SPA-G9, which was discovered in the year 1998. It was very landmark discovery. So at the National Immunological Institute, and this particular SPA-G9 antigen had received a trademark that is called ASPA-GNIITM. Okay, currently this is going to be used in the dendritic cells based immunotherapy in the cervical cancer, ovarian cancer, and also it is used in the breast cancer also. What is going to happen? Because, for example, if our immune system has to be stimulated, there must be a process called antigen stimulation and antigen presentation. Okay, for example, if any antigen is found, these dendritic cells will take this antigen inside, and they will present these antigens to the cells called T cells. Okay, T cells, that is T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. Okay, in the white blood cells we will see T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. The T lymphocytes are need to be activated in the case of the viruses and also cancers. Basically, the intracellular parasites will be targeted by this particular T cells. T cells will be having different sets of cells. Of course, T helper cells, T K cells, or TC cells. Like that, there are various cells. But what is the important fact we have to remember is, whenever there is a cancer, whenever there is a virus infection in any cell, especially in the host cell, these T cells need to be activated. So using this particular antigen, we are going to activate the T cells. We are just making sure this particular antigen is going to be presented by this particular dendritic cells, and dendritic cells will give the same information to the T cells, and the T cells are going to mediate this cell mediated response against the cancer cells. Okay, then yes, immunotherapy is a new approach that exploits our body's inner capability to fight against the cancer. Okay, what you're doing, you're just going to train the T cells. Okay, for example, through the dendritic cells, what you're going to do, you're presenting a particular antigen to the T cells. You're just educating the T cells. Yes, this sort of antigen you have to identify, this sort of antigen you have to detect and spoil those cells. What will happen? The T cells would recognize the same antigen on the surface of the cells which are affected by the cancer, and it will destroy those host cells. So in that way, it will help out the host mechanism in the system in order to cope up with the cancer. So this is what the novel technique in the fight against the cancer, that is called immunotherapy. And next important thing, very important thing we have to remember is Sustainable Development Index of 2020. Okay, so questions are given. Okay, there are 3 options given. First one, the Niti Aayog's Sustainable Development Index of 2020. It is the 3rd edition in the row. And secondly, in Zero Hunger, Kerala ranked first. Basically, Kerala successfully overcome this particular hunger. And thirdly, Arunachal Pradesh ranked top in the category of life on the land. So these are the 3 options given. So answer is D. All are the correct statements. Let us learn what it is. So actually, the Sustainable Development Index of 2020-21, it is published by Niti Aayog. Okay, so it will try to infuse a spirit of competition among the states to achieve the 17 goals of the Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, because in the year 2015, UN General Assembly adapted these goals in order to make sure that human development should take place in 17 areas. Okay, so in this way, it tries to present the global agenda that is adapted in the United Nations General Assembly at the state level. So it means all the states will be competing in order to achieve these goals at the national level. And these are the 17 goals, like no poverty, zero hunger, good health, good quality education, gender equality, clean and water sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, okay, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, and sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, okay, life below water, life on the land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, partnerships for the goals. So these are the 17 goals that are mentioned under the Sustainable Development Goals. So of course, under this particular thing, states are actually categorized. Like the union territories and states are categorized into 4 categories, like aspirant category, which are having the scores of 0 to 49, performing states or union territories who are having which are having their score between 50 to 64. Front runners category 65 to 99, achievers category it is 100. Okay, so this is what the score. Okay, and coming to the national analysis, India had seen a successful scale or improvement as far as the achievement of the goals is concerned. So the country's overall sustainable development score got improved by 6 points from 60 in the 2019 to 66 in the year 2020-21. So in that way, we can see a great improvement in the performance of the states as far as the sustainable development goals are concerned. So if you try to see, so there are various states, of course. Let us discuss the top performers. Like composite score of Kerala, that is 75, okay, out of 100. So it has topped in the Niti Aayog's 2020 index based on the state's performance on across the 16 development goals. And so if we try to see the performance of individual state, every state had topped in a particular category. Like Tamil Nadu topped in no poverty, Kerala in zero hunger. Likewise, there are various states which are having this performance. Please pause the video and look at this particular chart. Very, very helpful chart it is for you. Okay, right. And state-wise performance, as I told you, Kerala retained its first position previously. It held the first position in the year 2020 also. And Tamil Nadu and Himachal Pradesh, these are the competitors. Basically, last year there was a tough competition which was run between Kerala and Himachal Pradesh. So this time there is a competition across the 3 states. Okay, right. And at the end of the scale, Bihar, Jharkhand, and Assam were the worst performing states. Okay, and however, all the states showed some improvement from last year's scores. Like Mizoram and Haryana seeing the biggest gains. So in the examination, question may be asked not only the top performers, but also which of the following states have registered good performance. Okay, in that way they may ask you the question. Okay, so big improvement that has been registered between the years 2020-21 to 21 to 22. So such kind of questions may come in the examination. And next one, Starlink project, Project Cooper, Project Loon are the projects related to. So 4 options given. So what are the projects related to? Basically, this sort of questions are asked in the even in the UPSC examination also. Okay, you must be very much keen in remembering such a kind of factual things. Of course, very, very interesting also. Like for example, 4 options given, like I will discuss what it is. Satellite system based on LEO, satellite system based on GSO, optical fiber, DTH. Actually the answer is it is satellite internet. Okay, sorry, it is not system, satellite internet based on the low earth orbits. Okay, this is the answer. So what is the satellite internet? Basically, usually our internet is based on the geostationary satellites. And of course, it would cover most of the world, but the latency period is very, very short. It means the signal reachability is very, very late with respect to geostationary satellites. So in order to make sure the latency period to be reduced, because geostationary orbits are located almost all 35,000 kilometers from the Earth, whereas the low Earth orbits are located low Earth. The name itself will tell you what the orbit it is. So basically, it is 500 to 2,000 kilometers from the Earth. So comparatively, these are very much closer. Okay, so because of that reason, the private companies are launching their satellites so that the internet coverage can be increased. Okay, and so basically this investment is too much costly. It is not a simple investment, because uh, what will happen, these low Earth orbits make a circuit. It means they will revolve around the Earth for every 90 to 120 minutes. So these are not stationary. They will not be stopping at one point. They will be just revolving around the Earth. Okay, so it means when the satellite just comes, this is the India, for example, and satellite is on the India. Whenever it leaves that space, we will not be getting benefited out of that particular satellite. So this is what the negative issue as far as this low Earth orbit satellites are concerned. So that's why we have to launch multiple satellites in order to overcome that problem. Okay, and geostationary satellites are actually located in the height of 35,786 kilometers from the Earth's surface, and these are directly above the equator. Very, very important thing it is. Okay, in the examination, it is very, very sensitive point, important point, and roughly it would cover 1/3 of the planet. Okay, so these are since they are very much far away from the Earth, the latency period is very, very greater. So that's why the signal lag will be there with respect to the geostationary satellites. Okay, so there are certain companies which are actually leveraging on this particular low Earth orbits. First one is 5 to 50 service. It is OneWeb service. It is one private company, and Starlink, which is a venture of SpaceX, and Project Cooper, it is a project of Amazon, and Loon project, it is a project of Google. So previously a question was asked in the UPSC regarding this particular project Loon. And coming to the next important question, global pandemic radar is a pathogenic surveillance network which is set up by, okay, this is a question. Global pandemic radar is a pathogenic surveillance network which is set up by. So 4 options given: WHO, Canada, UK, and ICMR. The right answer is actually the UK. Okay, in collaboration with WHO. Okay, I have given same answer for 2 options. Please pardon me. So these are the 2 agencies which have. One is the UK, it is a country, and WHO is the World Health Organization. Both have their role in establishing this particular global pandemic radar. Okay, what it is, let us discuss. So it is announced by Prime Minister of UK, and it is launched by UK in collaboration with the WHO. So what its role is: identifying new variants. Okay, so whatever that are developing as far as the COVID-19 is concerned, all these to be predicted prior they have gone into the public. So this is what the agenda of this particular global pandemic radar. And the next important question: Agriculture Ministry signs MOUs with 4 institutions. For what is the reason? What is the reason why this particular MOUs are signed? 4 institutions means one is Patanjali Organic Research with this particular institution. Agriculture Management and Farmer Service in 3 districts is signed. Amazon Web Service, it is going to create digital ecosystem in the agriculture value chain. And ESRI India Private Limited for the setting up of National Agriculture Geo Hub. And fourthly, AgriBazaar India Private Limited, partnering with pilot projects of development of agriculture in the 3 states, which include UP, Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan. So in the examination, there is a high possibility Government of India had signed a MOU for the development of agriculture with which of the following institutions. Questions may come in that direction. Okay, right. And next important thing, very, very important thing, Justice Arun Mishra has been appointed as the chairman of National Human Rights Commission. Basically, National Human Rights Commission is a statutory body. Statutory body means any body which is formed out of a statute. So it is a result of 1993 Act, that is Protection of Human Rights Act. Okay, so it is responsible for the protection and promotion of the human rights. Okay, like right to life, liberty, equality. Basically, it is an agency which is very much proactive. It would visit the jails, it would visit the forest areas where people rights are being violated by the state, especially, and what are the reasons why the human rights are at the stake. So all these are to be studied by this particular NHRC. In some cases, it would also take the cases on the suo motu basis in order to render the justice. Okay, so but it is most often it is a recommendatory body, it is not an executive body, right? So what are the who are the members? Okay, who would appoint this particular chairman and members of the National Human Rights Commission? So there are five important offices involved in the selection and appointment of the chairman and members of the National Human Rights Commission. One is Prime Minister. Second one is Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Third one is Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, and LOPs of both houses, and the Home Minister. So these are the offices which are involved in the selection of the chairman and members of the Human Rights Commission, right? So in the Human Rights Commission, basically previously only retired ex-CJ used to be appointed. Now, because of the amendment of Act of 2019, even ex or retired Supreme Court judge is also made eligible to be appointed as a chairman of this particular Human Rights Commission. So according to the 2019 amendment, so 3 members will be appointed, at least one will be a woman. Okay, and ex officio members are also members, like National Human Rights, National Commission for the Backward Classes, National Commission for the Protection of the Child Rights, Chief Commissioner for the Persons with Disabilities. So likewise, there are already existing constitutional bodies and statutory bodies whose members will also become members of the National Human Rights Commission on account of their holding those offices. So that is called ex officio membership. Okay, and the term will be at least 3 years till the age of 70 years, whichever is earlier. This is what the term. And there used to be a kind of cap, like a 5 years limit used to be there with respect to previous act. So that limit of appointment has been taken away. Okay, so in this way, National Human Rights Commission is organized. And next important thing, Isaac Herzog was elected as 11th president of the Israel. Okay, he belongs to a party called Labour Party, and he won against Miriam Peretz, and he will be in the office for the period of 7 years. And Prime Minister of the Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, Benjamin Netanyahu. Then Salman Rushdie has written a book that is called Language of Truth and Essays of 2002 to 2020. So what is this actually? It is a collection of criticism of speeches and essays with a focus on his views and imaginations of the change of the literature and culture between the 2003 to 2020. It's a kind of a review literature. So it would understand how the changes are taking place all these years. Okay, so Rushdie is a member of Arts and Letters. Okay, very, very famous author. He hails from India, but he's very much reputed writer across the world. Okay, thank you, friends. Thank you so much. I will be meeting you with important and new current affairs with tomorrow's video. Thank you.